We got some interesting news dropping today. More stuff about raid loot and how some of that is changing a little bit. Also, I didn't even know about this. You could solo queue for freaking LFR runs? Since when? I'm about to give a PSA announcement to anybody who also didn't know this. So the Collector's Bounty event, we all know this is the final weekend of Collector's Bounty. This will be ending soon. Wait, do we have one more weekend after this? Is it August 12th this thing ends? Or that's when the patch drops? I don't fucking know. When does a Collector's Bounty end? Sam makes up for it. You can't do that if you live in Canada? Yeah. So Collector's Bounty is coming to an end, and that means, these are your final chances to get mounts and things that are at a higher drop rate, right? So this is ending on the 30th, which means, yeah, we got one more weekend of this thing. So basically, you need to get in here and get this done, because by the next reset, you won't be able to do Collector's Bounty stuff anymore. And one way to do it is solo queuing LFR. I had no idea this was even a thing. You could solo queue LFR, evidently, by these two NPCs. So both the Alliance and Horde have their own NPCs that you can queue for solo LFR at. We have two Keepers of Histories. Epu is found in the second floor on the right of where you port in at the Green Seal of the Horde. Owned Wild, thank you for the sub on YouTube. While Kiku sits in the Borealis Tavern. You can freely chain queue at them to cover all of the BFA raids easily. So you can get all the basically LFR looks of gear. Don't forget, this also applies to transmog, so you get all the transmog gear that you'll be able to get during this event. That's all coming to an end as well in terms of higher drop rate. And then the mounts, obviously. A lot of these mounts are available on the LFR versions of these raids. So go in here, run some solo queues. I had no idea, again, that this was even a thing. But yeah, solo queuing LFR content evidently is possible. Moving on to double RNG items here, dropping in the new raid in Season 3. So we got the Maniforged Omega raid BOEs, and what's interesting about these things is they all have random secondary stat rolls. So you can see here, if I just mouse over, these are BOE. I'm not sure why it says bind on pickup here when it's actually bind on equip, but anyways, all these BOEs you see have random secondary stats, random stat 1 and random stat 2. So not only do you have to, hope that this thing drops, but then you hope that the random stats roll correctly for you. Hopefully you get them. Sam, we don't care about the stats of BOEs. You can make them tier and get dollars. Yep, you can always buy your favorite BOEs off the AH. That is true. But the thing is, BOEs is always a thing. And why not have it drop? Then you don't have to spend the gold on it if you get the right shit. So hopefully that stuff. Solo queuing BFA LFR raids has been out since Season 2 start, I believe. I didn't know that. So the BOE ring. There's also a BOE ring. There's no stats on it currently, but there probably will be some point down the line. And then a lot of boots. Evidently, there's a lot of boots available in BOE form. Also, those boots will be upgrading your Reshi wraps as well. They all have a secondary stat that upgrades your Reshi wraps. You see here, equip the powers of your Reshi wraps are triggered at 50% more frequency, which means all of these BOE boots are likely going to be your best in slot as well for every single class. So it's going to be important. And this new stat roll and stuff is going to be an interesting thing going forward. We've seen secondary stat rolls before in the game. This isn't anything new. But applying to all of the BOEs that drop in raid, that is something that's a little bit different here. Also, Maniforged Omega loot breakdown, item levels for every boss at 11.2. We see here now the item levels. These have been available for a little while, but I haven't personally looked at them. LFR starting at 671 and then Mythic ending at 717. We see the first three bosses will have a one loot range, and then you got three more here, and then the last two having their own highest loot range. At LFR, the highest item level you're able to get is 678. On normal, 691. On Heroic, this is 704, and then as I said before, 717 for Mythic. Obviously, upgradable item levels as well. This is what they're going to drop at, so these things will be upgradable. I'm not sure how high you're going to be able to push up past 717, but a decent amount based on how we've seen other things be able to be upgraded. Don't forget, there's going to be a new raid meta achievement, as there always is, going around doing all the boss fights in certain ways. We got the one from this season. Next season's mount is also kind of cool. You'll be able to do it by doing all of these achievements to get the glory of the Omega Raider achievement. Once you got it, you will get the Umbral Karak mount, or Karkak mount. I don't know what you want to call it. A pretty cool looking Raven mount. Not sure what this is hinting at or anything. It kind of seems off brand for the for this raid in particular. I thought we'd get something more voidy looking, but I haven't gone to Koresh yet, so maybe this is like some old Koreshi mount or something. I have no idea. But a cool looking mount, worthy of being chased down, so we'll make sure we go ahead and get that achievement done. And really, there isn't much else going on in terms of World of Warcraft right now. News, there's a bit of a lull in terms of news right now as we get ready for the patch to hit and everything else. But for today, at least, that is all in terms of news.